I know, black people, we got the stereotype of we talk a lot during movies, but you know who
Yeah.
really talks a lot during old white women talk a
Oh,
lot
they
during
do,
movies.
man. Oh
Old white
man.
women
Like
talk a lot during movies.
I went and saw Booksmart, and there were several old white women in that movie, and they were, oh man, it was like fucking. I thought I was listening to the talk when I was in there. I was like, God damn. So, yeah,
Uh,
you're not.
all right. So yeah, Hunter, he let me know. He's like, "Hey, I can help you with these reviews if you need some help." And he was like, "Man, I really want to come on and talk about Baby Girl. Man, I just love me some Baby Girl." There, he was horny for Baby Girl.
I did not say anything.
He said, he's like, "Man, I just can't get enough. I'm this movie's Baby Girl." He
I
said.
wow.
Uh, yeah, that's what we got for our next review here. So yes, this movie is starring Nicole Kidman here, and it's also starring Harris Dickinson. And this movie is directed by Helena Regine, who also directed another movie I liked a lot called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. So I like that quite a bit there. Now she didn't write that movie; she's writing this movie. And what this movie is detailing is Nicole Kidman plays a very high-powered CEO, um, boss bitch, I guess, as he call it, girl boss, maybe in
Yeah.
some aspects there, represents and all that in all sense of the word there. And she leads a company there about really advancing women in business there, especially in leadership roles. And then she comes across a man named Samuel, who's played by Harris Dickinson. And Harris Dickinson, people might know he was in The King's Man. He was in that. He was Ralph Fiennes' son in that film there.
I knew he looked familiar. I was like, where have I seen that mother? I had to look it up. I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, the King's Man is like it's fine. I think it's fine. I think it's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's fine. Not as problematic as that second Kingsman movie, which holy fuck, I rewatched that like a year ago, and I was like, why do I not remember the concentration camps and like Jesus Christ, what were you thinking, Matthew Vaughn? But yeah, he's good. He's really good in this. Like holy shit.
Yeah. And this is about a woman who has a family, has a great job, but is dissatisfied in her love life there. And that leads her seeking out a younger man in Samuel there and beginning an affair with him. And it's about, what will she lose? How far will this relationship go? And getting into more of the exploring her sexuality there in this, as you see. Um, yeah. Oh, you gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, dude, this shit, oof, man, you want to talk about just a bummer of a movie. Like it's so good at making you sad. And that's kind of what I love about it is because this is a ticking clock. Like at some point she's going to get caught because this is how it usually happens. Like if you're having an affair, it's like will the universe stop you or you can stop it yourself? And like the thing is she's she's very dumb. And I mean that in the sense of, and I mean that in the sense of she's not talking to her partner. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you have needs, if you have desires, especially goddamn, especially if you're married, you need to be able to talk to your partner about this shit. And she can't and doesn't. And so because of that, she gets herself in a giant clusterfuck. Um, Also right out the gate, Samuel is giving off like not quite Christian Grey vibes, but he's giving off real like not chill vibes.
Mm.
Like it's very much under the smoke screen of like, oh, I'm so tall and awkward, and it's like, no, this motherfucker knows what he's doing, and to his credit, it fucking works. Like he slowly just kind of grinds her down, like just pushes a boundary here, oversteps a boundary here, like it's all very subtle, but you see what he's doing. Like, there's this point where she's like, we have 3 minutes to talk, because I'm gonna be your mentor. And he's like, oh, actually, I think it's gonna be like 5 minutes. And it's just like these little things that he's doing just keep moving the goalposts, and you're just like, man, like what a tool. But again, it's working, so like he knows what he's doing. Nicole Kidman she it's so weird. Like she just loves getting like she just
Naked.
loves getting fucked on camera. Like I don't like maybe that's her king because like between this and like Eyes Wide Shut and like Cold Mountain and Big Little Lie, like she just loves like getting just destroyed on camera. Like I can't imagine her and Keith Urban having sex. That is something that still kind of melts my brain because like I just see Keith Urban, I'm like, really? This is the guy you picked? But yeah, like I think
Oh, I
like
forgot they were together. Oh.
dude, exactly. See, you couldn't even remember that they're together. But she's what? Like she's like 55? Something like that?
Yeah, 54. I think she's
Okay, okay,
54.
yeah, go me. So yeah, uh still looks
Oh,
great.
57. Sorry.
Oh
57.
shit. Okay, see, there you go. I mean, still looks great. I mean, could still get it. If she I mean, Nicole, if you ever want to come out, want to have an affair with someone out in on the West Coast, I'll let your boy. but um but she's great in this. She's absolutely fantastic in this. I think what is unfair in this kind of a Dark Knight situation, in the sense of I think everyone is going to talk about her performance, is going to talk about Harris Dickinson's performance, and completely fair, they're both great. But Antonio Banderas in this shit is fantastic. He is so goddamn great in this movie. I know we all, think about him voicing that adorable cat, but he's a fuck of an actor, and there's a point in here where he gets to kind of snap, and oh man, that shit is so wonderfully uncomfortable. And I was really liking the movie. Like I liked it
Mhm.
until the last 45 minutes. And then I really enjoyed it. Like I loved it. I was like, okay, here we go. Because that's when everything starts to kind of fall apart. And when shit falls apart, it falls apart like the saddest sandcastle. It's kind of beautiful in the way that things break down. Um, there's really so much about this. Like the cinematography is top notch. It's fucking fantastic. The score, the music is
Mm.
uh is great. There's a sequence where
Reminded
um
me a little bit of like Challengers a little bit. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, very, very, very much in that vein. That would actually be a great double feature. I actually did a double feature of Challengers and this, and it was actually quite a bit of fun. So
edging
if
yourself the whole time there.
yeah, right, yeah, dude, Challengers is like, man, that's such a frustrating movie for all the right reasons. Like that, oh man, Zendaya is a super villain in that shit. But there's a scene where Rami, I think her name, uh
Yeah.
goes
I mean,
yeah goes to a club with Samuel, and the way that whole sequence is shot is such a like cool fever dream, like kind of Eyes Wide Shutish actually. Like I love the way that
mm,
scene in particular is shot. um the people who play her kids in this movie too, that's what's that, Esther McGregor and Vaughn Riley, I think that's how you say it.
mhm.
um you know them from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then Hunger Games, Ballad of Songs of Snakes, respectively. They're both great in this as well. Like everyone in this really brings it. And we haven't talked about her yet, but Sophie Wilde, um, she's not going to get a Best Supporting Actress nomination, and to be honest, any other year she would deserve one because she's right there with Kidman. Like she gets a lot of scenes with Kidman, and she is kind of the first person to really check her on her shit. And she has this great monologue of her about how, I'm not blackmailing you because, like I want money or power or anything like that, but because your bullshit is gonna bring this company down. And because like, you're talking about empowering women, you being selfish could go ahead and derail, the careers of so many women that you don't even like, you haven't even come in proximity with. Like it's such a great monologue and such a great scene. And she hides her accent so fucking well. I'm just like, oh yeah, she's from fucking Australia. um
Talk to me. Yeah, she was in that film.
yeah, so I have to shout out Nick, because Nick was giving me shit as he often does. Hey, I'm on the show, you're not. But but she's great and Talk to Me. I actually did finish Talk to Me because I started it, and then I was just like, I'm not feeling it. Went back and watched it and actually really enjoyed it. So I really hope she continues to get more things. The fact she's going toe to toe with Nicole Kidman, fucking nailing it. She's fantastic. So, yeah, I'm such a fan of hers. But yeah, I think it's not even really a complaint. It kind of starts off slow. I found the first third, like the
Mhm.
first hour, I was kind of like, okay, this is good. Like it's really good, but it's just good. And then that last hour, it's like, okay, here we go, and that's where it really starts to ramp up. And it starts the same way and it ends the same way as far as the movie is concerned, which I found pretty good with the irony. But yeah, it's a really great flick.
Yeah. So yeah, you got an erotic thriller right here, with Baby Girl. Very much exploring this dynamic of sexuality of an affair there, and also in the nature of this relationship being a kind of dom sub type relationship that you have on screen. Maybe hearkening, maybe people might remember that James Spader movie Secretary that you got there that you had, which came out in
Great
'02.
stuff.
That was an older movie there. And yeah, I mean, good performances. I mean, both from Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson, just everybody involved. I mean, you got a lot of really great performances here. Antonio Banderas, you mentioned him.
Oh, so
Um, and he was really, I mean, he's been turning in some really great performances, especially in the latter part of his career. Now that he's become older, there. Movies like what was that movie Under the Skin? I believe that
that
movie.
is one of the best sci-fi films in the last 20 years, and so many people haven't seen it. Like which people check that movie fucking out. Like it's so weird because like he's one of the only good things, like maybe the only good thing in fucking Uncharted. Which because that movie is fucking terrible.
What
But
about
between
Expendables? You loved him in Expendables, didn't you?
you know what? Oh God, I forgot he was actually in. I actually forgot. That's the third one. Is that the third one? Or is that the fourth one he's in?
Third
Oh,
one.
so the third one. Okay, yeah, the third one. The third one has Mel Gibson. That one's actually passable, but I couldn't tell you a thing he does in that movie. But yeah, Puss in Boots in 2011, Haywire, fuck the bitch who stars in that. Machete Kills, SpongeBob movie, fuck yeah.
The Skin I Live In. Sorry, not Under the Skin. That was the Scarlett Johansson movie.
That's right, yeah, Skin I Live in.
Skin I Live In.
Sad thing is he's the one thing about Doolittle that's actually good. It's not even Rob Downey Jr. It's Antonio Banderas. Um, no shame in my game. I like those Hitman's Wife movies or the Hitman's Bodyguards films. Yeah, Uncharted is shit. We don't need to talk about that, but he's good in it. And then of course Puss in Boots. And he actually is my second favorite thing in Dial of Destiny.
Yeah. Mm.
Um
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was in that.
exactly. Yeah, Dial that yeah.
I forgot he was in that.
But but
Yeah,
he's good at maximizing his time, even if he's in something that's not great. So
yeah. And yeah, and just the dynamic of this relationship of, they've been together, they say for 19 years. And doesn't seem like, I mean, it's not a, because usually and sometimes when movies about characters who have affairs, it's because of the lack of sex or they're not having enough sex. It seems like he's still very much attracted to her. He's still physically, I mean, he can't keep his hands off of her. He wants to, and he initiates sex. It's just that they're not having the right type of sex. They're not having the sex that she would want to have. She wants to do more stuff. And even leading her to the point where she's trying to figure out is something wrong with herself. She's going to therapy, she's having all this type of stuff like sensory type therapy, and she's goes to therapy where she gets stuck in the hyperbolic time chamber or some shit, and
yeah,
so all this different stuff. So
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting the conversation this movie has about like kinks in terms of like counseling too, because I do think that's a very interesting conversation in terms of like the shame aspect. And obviously, we shame women in dozens of ways. Um, never mind. I'm not gonna be a dick, but we we shame women in lots of ways, and it's very interesting how she's the CEO of this company, has all this control, and kind of because of that, sexually she wants it to be kind of a 180. She wants to like have no control. She wants someone to um there's a scene that would make Homelander blush in this shit that I was like, God damn, it was actually like it caught me off guard. And thankfully I'm not a big Milk fan anyway. But um yeah, there's a lot of moments in this movie that I was just like, damn. And and yeah, she looks fucking great. Like I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a
you
lot of scenes where she's showing off her butt and she's showing off her body. She's not fully nude. She never gets fully nude in this.
yeah, what a jip. But yeah, but yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, and you get some Antonio Banderas. Like I don't no one drops dong in this movie, which, lame. But yeah, I don't think you don't see dong, you don't see boobs, so put those fancies to bed. I think she's naked in Cold Mountain though. So if you want to see her, if you want to see her naked, you can watch Cold
I've never
Mountain.
seen that
Uh,
movie.
yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's way too fucking long. It's like I think it's like almost like 4 fucking hours. It's way too fucking long, but it's a good flick. Um, but yeah, like between the score and the soundtrack and the cinematography, like that alone would at least warrant like a viewing of it. But you add in those great performances in there, and this won't crack my top 10, but it'll be an honorable mention. Like I could see why people
Yeah,
would vibe with this. It's like 50 Shades, but there's
good.
consequences.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, and it's good. Yeah, and it's actually like a good fit. Like this movie does bring up like the problematic aspects too of Samuel,
because there's
because
a age gap in here. There's the power not only of the age gap, but also
yeah,
she's the CEO. He's just an intern, so they bring that into play.
yeah,
So
like
yeah, they mentioned.
there's a point, and it's such it fuck it, it's such women logic in the sense of like she go like there's a point where he might be fucking someone else. She's like, I don't want you to be fucking anyone else. And I was sitting there like, bitch, where do you get off telling him not to fuck someone else when you're married? And the movie actually checks her on that. It's like, okay, good, because if you just let that slide, I was gonna be really pissed off. But they actually go ahead and address that. So like every kind of pitfall I was kind of worried they wouldn't address, they actually do. So props to them on that front. Yeah, the director, man, she's clearly got some kinks, because between this and bodies, goddamn,
What
like
kink was in? It was what kink was in bodies.
oh, I mean, just everyone's just horny in that, yeah,
Oh,
and like
well,
and yeah, and in the opening, I mean, best opening of an A24 film ever, but yeah, like she's clearly she clearly doesn't mind talking about sex. Like Hollywood is getting hornier. Like it feel like we're seeing more like the Power of the Dog with Cumberbatch. She drops dong. You got to see his Eye of Agamotto.
I
Bradley
thought
Cooper.
the people were saying that Hollywood was getting not so sexual anymore. They were
I
saying,
think that's good. I don't think that's true at all. Fucking that Nightmare Alley, Bradley Cooper drops dong. You got to see his
"Oh,
Rocket
really?
Raccoon.
I don't
Because
remember that."
yeah, in the bathtub, you get the like. So I mean, yeah, like Hollywood seems like it's getting hornier. Which
Okay.
cool question mark, but but yeah,
Mhm.
this is a really great flick. I do think the second half is stronger than the first half. I will say.
So you give it a peek?
Peak's aggressive. Yeah, like because again, it's really good. I just didn't. I wasn't. I loved it. I wasn't in love with it, and
Okay.
I tend to save my peaks for those sort of movies. So I'd still say this is
Strong tune in?
really strong tune in.
Okay.
Really strong tune in.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. It was everything that kind of it promised in the trailer there. I think it's a good, sexy, erotic thriller, like how erotic thrillers are supposed to be here. Nicole Kidman still looking good. I
Yeah.
think she does well here in this dynamic with Harris Dickinson. I saw this in the theater with it was mostly women. I saw it with mostly women, and I think it was maybe one other guy there, and he was just there, I think, with his
You,
girlfriend.
you
Uh,
get any numbers? Were you in the lobby? Were you waiting for some? Looking,
I know, black people, we got the stereotype of we talk a lot during movies, but you know who
yeah.
really talks a lot during old white women talk a
Oh,
lot.
they do, man. Oh,
Old white
man.
women
Like
talk a lot during movies.
I went and saw Booksmart, and there were several old white women in that movie, and they were, oh man, it was like fucking. I thought I was listening to the talk when I was in there. I was like, God damn. So
Because like when he showed up on screen, they went like, "Oh yeah, he's cute." And there's a scene where something happens with her, where somebody tries to threaten her, and they went, "Oh shit, here we go. Oh shit, it's about to happen." And then there's that, and yeah, so yeah, I mean,
that's
hey,
funny.
women. I mean, I think they'll like something like this, and just also exploring the dynamic of relationships and affairs and kinks, as you said, and power dynamics is it makes for an interesting thing. And yeah, it's just like 19 years they've been together, and she doesn't really express any of this to Antonio.
Which is wild. Like, that is, like, the biggest sort of, like, you can't wait that long. Like, I like, that was and
But
again, like, the movie does check her. Like, that's something I really appreciate because like, this isn't like, The Boy Next Door where they're like, "Oh, he's 18 technically, like, Waka Wa" It's like, "No, no, no, like, that's bad, and you need to talk about that shit." And, yeah, the movie really does cover all of its bases on that front. But, yeah, this is a
but
very oh, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say yeah, but yeah, I don't know if women, I mean, wait that long, but I mean, there are a lot of women who, never orgasm with their partner. I mean, the studies about that, like what 60% of women, I think,
Yeah,
was
which that's wild to me. Like
yeah. So
damn. So yeah, I yeah, like talk to your partner, people. Like yeah, please talk to your partners. Like be adults. Like have conversations. But um I will say all the dialogue in here too. I thought was pristine. I thought the conversations that people have are really well done. There there's a conversation that happens in like the final like 25 minutes that I was just like, God damn. Like I was just sitting there like kind of in awe of the conversation. I don't want to spoil, but yeah, there's a Christmas tree around. You'll know. You'll know people when you get there. But that sequence in particular is just one of those scenes where I was like, fuck me, that's intense. And it's so well handled. And it's
yeah.
yeah,
You
oh,
just
it's
feel
great.
so bad for Antonio Banderas.
Oh my
He really,
god.
he
He's
loves his wife. He really does love his wife. And
the
wants to please his wife.
once he finds out like the how he finds out about the affair is just one of those things where you're just like, oh wow, that's a kick in the ball sack. Like it is just it's such a depressing moment. And you just want to give the dude a hug. But he still looks great too. I think he's like in his
64.
60s.
Yeah, he's 64.
Yeah, yeah, he looks great, man. He's got the gray, he's got the gray in the beard, and like you actually
Yeah.
see him like see him shirtless, and I can't remember if he's naked. I feel like he
Mm,
is at one point, but
no, I think he's just shirt. I think you just
uh,
see him just
is
shirtless.
is he just shirtless? Oh, okay. But yeah, like he
You
looks
wish he
great.
was more naked.
I well, yeah, yeah. I'm projecting. It's my dream journal, but yeah, like but but yeah, no, it's a really great flick though. People should check it out. I think especially for older women to see stuff like this, like to actually see like women's sexuality being celebrated and like talked about, So it's a really good flick though.
Yeah, maybe those women then gonna go home, try some stuff with their man there, do some stuff there. So,
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I'll do that. So I'd give it a strong tune in. I think it's a strong tune in for me as well, bordering on a peak. So I give it kind of that middle lowish peak territory. There, strong tune in.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
so yeah, with that though, yeah. So a good strong tune in from you, and a strong tune in for me for Baby Girl.
I do think this will hit differently for women over 40. Like I do think like if someone were to tell me this was my favorite movie of the year, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. I could see this being some people's like favorite film of the year.
When do women like their hormones jump? Is it after 40, right?
I think it's after 40. Yeah.
They say yeah, the hormones jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Alea
eh,
Alea's younger than me. I don't know that shit, but yeah.
yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah. I think it's after 40.
yeah, it's like reverse. It's like usually men with their younger, it's higher, but then with women, they're older, it's higher.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah. That was our review for Baby Girl.